Welcome back, everyone! As stated in my previous review video, My Little Pony: A New Generation is a lot of fun. Incredibly predictable, but immensely entertaining. But there are a few things I wanted to discuss which go into heavy spoiler territory, so I highly recommend that each of you give this movie a watch first. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Now, let's start with the most controversial moment in this movie. Sunny becoming an alicorn right near the end. I think most of us could tell that simply bringing these jewels together wouldn't solve the issues between the pony races, and while I do wish there was more time allowed for each of these characters to reconcile their differences, it did lead to a nice scene where each of them helped to fix a broken frame. I really appreciated that quiet moment. But having Sunny lift into the air, be given a horn and wings, followed by a sonic rainbow-sized explosion of multicolored light across the land, it definitely leaves open a lot of questions. Where did these jewels come from? Why were they separated in the first place? Why did they give Sunny this corporeal horn and wings? Is this a temporary cosmetic or a permanent change for Sunny? On the one hand, all these elements suggest that the MLP staff are likely changing some of the established lore from the Friendship is Magic series while still trying to keep parts of the same world. But on the other hand, I am all the more interested in the follow-up Netflix series set to release this coming spring, so maybe leaving so many unanswered questions is a good thing here. If I had to guess though, I would bet that Sunny won't be keeping these wings and horn all the time. Else why wouldn't the MLP staff make them more solid instead of a corporeal form? Then again, you know that there would be more interest in Sunny merchandise if she was an alicorn. So this may be a sort of compromise to keep a more grounded Earth Pony Sunny character whilst also allowing for a more princess appeal on the merchandise front. At any rate though, one other element I appreciated is that there really isn't so much a villain in this story as much as there are just antagonists. Sprout is the closest there is to a full-on villain, but I would argue that it's less about having malicious intent and more of a case of ignorance caused by a lifetime of fear propaganda. He was constantly shown to be unsure of himself even in the midst of his desires for glory. And even more so, I appreciate how Phyllis was only interested in protecting other Earth ponies with all these near-useless gadgets. And when she saw the adverse effects that Sprout was showing from all her encouragement and fear-mongering, she had this very brief moment of genuine regret. This was only about halfway through the movie, too, which made her character just a little more complex. When the movie had started and Argyle openly challenged Phyllis's fear propaganda, I was a little worried that she'd be a very one-note character until the very end. Showing this tiny bit of change in her beliefs halfway through the story made for a stronger narrative. In fact, each of the three leaders at first suggests that they're going to be antagonistic until the end of the story. But having Queen Haven arrested and striking out on her own initiative to find her daughters was a welcome addition. And even a bit of a surprise. Even with Alpha Biddle, there's less of a malicious intent to his actions and more of a genuine mistrust for the other races born out of the same culture of paranoia that all pony races shared. I'm glad that the writers decided to go with this direction in the story. Even though I still wish that there had been more screen time to allow a more natural transition for each of these characters' beliefs, for the little time they were given, I think it's fairly effective. And there's still so much more I do want to discuss regarding each of the main five's journeys in the film, but I think I'll save those ideas for future videos. In the meantime though, I would very much like to hear from each of you. What were your impressions of each of the antagonists in the story? And of course, what do you believe will happen with Sunny's corporeal horn and wings in the follow-up Netflix series? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because as always, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.